Hi. Hi, welcome to my channel. This is Tiny House Offgrid Resources from New Zealand. It's the beginning of another hot New Zealand summer here, and I'd like to just give you a little intro into what it is that this channel is all about. 20 years ago, my life was probably where yours is right now. I needed options. I was owned by a job and the tax department and my bank, tied into a mortgage. Things were hard, and unfortunately at that time my marriage was coming to an end. But when that happened, it gave me a chance to reassess, and a good friend pointed me in a new direction. He suggested, why don't you come with us this summer? Join the Gypsy Fair, travel the country. We earn money as we travel. And I'd never heard of this Gypsy Fair. It turns out it's a bunch of 50 families, 150 or so people living on the road in a selection of vehicles, much like my house truck behind me. Now, I built this house truck myself. I built this truck with inspiration from other people who've also built all their own stuff, and since then I've stopped buying shit. I now either do without. I've reduced my lifestyle. I make do with far less stuff than I ever needed. Sure, there's changes in the way you do things. You have to be tidy. You don't come home from the shops with piffle. You make a conscious buying decision with everything you buy, reducing the amount of packaging, ditching the packaging while you're in town. Put it in their rubbish bin. Let them deal with it. Don't bring it home and make it your problem. Grow a lot of your own stuff. Behind me there is lettuce and tomatoes growing. Just a few weeks ago there were peas and beans and eggplant. We've got a good climate here. We can grow stuff most of the year round. Elsewhere in the garden I've got fruit trees, potatoes, sweet corn. There's not a lot that I need to buy from the shops. I'm now living on around 1/3 of what it used to cost me to live when I was paying a mortgage and living a normal lifestyle. Now, they've coined a term for what we're doing. They call it subsistence living. This isn't subsistence living. This is life. This is having a great time. In my opinion, these people who are working 8 to 10 hours a day, paying large amounts of their wages in loans with credit cards and hire purchase on cars and things, that is subsistence living. We're living the dream. Now, if you follow this channel, you're going to be able to get involved with some very special projects that I've got coming up. I'm heading south to the bottom end of the North Island of New Zealand next week to pick up a World War II era bus which we found languishing in a paddock, and we're going to restore fully down to the last nut and bolt. This thing will be pulled apart and rebuilt and refurbished. Following that, we're going to turn it into a diesel electric hybrid. This means that this thing will have endless range. We will create electricity as we travel, from solar panels on the roof and another device which I'm just making at the moment. The first video is coming up very soon, of a pyrolyzer and fractional distillation plant. Now, those are two words that you've probably got no idea what I'm talking about, but basically what we're going to be doing is collecting soft plastics, melting them in a sealed chamber, collecting the gases that are released and condensing them into a usable fuel, which essentially is diesel. This diesel is going to operate a generator, which will charge our batteries and drive the bus. We're taking this show on the road. We're going to go to the colleges and high schools around New Zealand, and we're going to do a little bit of unschooling. We're going to show these kids the kind of life that you can enjoy without going to the mall, without buying shit online, without having to have the latest I this and I that and Android this and Android that. We're going to be doing real things with real people, and you're going to be part of it. So hit the subscribe button, join us on this journey. It's going to be so much fun. Okay, thanks for coming over.